In the early hours of February 23, 2025, infrared footage captured a truck moving through northwest Syria. Suddenly, a cruciform glow erupted as something slammed into the vehicle with razor-sharp precision. No explosion followed, just a distinctive hole punched through the roof over the driver's position. This was clearly no conventional missile strike. So what was it? As details of the savage attack began to spread, commentators noticed a shocking similarity with a series of previous incidents. There was no doubt about it. This must be the work of the same top-secret weapon that the US has been using to eliminate high-profile targets for at least the past 8 years. Blending medieval brutality with 21st century pinpoint accuracy, this bizarre projectile's macabre method of eliminating targets has earned it nicknames like the Flying Ginsu and Ninja Bomb. And on March 1st, an official video from US Central Command would finally reveal its dark truth. A mysterious assassin. On February 26, 2017, Al-Qaeda's deputy leader, Abu Khair al-Masri, was traveling through Syria's Idlib province in a Kia sedan when he was eliminated by a mysterious attack that seemed to defy the capabilities of any known existing weapons. In the aftermath of the strike, instead of the expected charred wreckage typically left by Hellfire missiles, al-Masri's vehicle showed a peculiar pattern of damage, a disturbingly clean perforation of the metal roof, as though cut by some kind of giant surgical tool, unlike anything seen before. As news of the curious nature of the attack spread around the internet, online commentators began speculating about how it could have been carried out. Whatever it was clear that this represented a significant technological shift in the United States' capabilities. But with no official confirmation forthcoming, the weapon remained in the shadows. Evidence of its deployment accumulated throughout 2018 and early 2019, as more strikes bearing the same distinctive signature began appearing across conflict zones where American drones operated. But still, nobody knew exactly what was responsible. The truth emerges. In May 2019, the Wall Street Journal finally revealed the truth. The perpetrator of these grisly attacks was the AGM-114R9X, a variant of the Hellfire missile. While the physical dimensions of the R9X align with standard Hellfire variants, approximately 64 inches in length and 7 inches in diameter, with a weight of roughly 100 pounds, it has one major difference. Instead of using a warhead packed with high explosives to neutralize its targets, it claims its victims' lives with 6 hardened steel blades. During flight, these blades tuck into the body of the R9X. Moments before impact, they deploy outward like a sinister metal flower, extending approximately 18 inches from the missile's hull, before dispatching the unfortunate target in a gruesome fashion, drawing comparisons with the kinds of weapons used by ninja assassins. Perhaps somewhat surprisingly, this terrifying flying menace was actually created to keep loss of life to a limit. The R9X can trace its roots back to the Obama administration, when concerns about civilian casualties from drone strikes prompted a search for less destructive alternatives to conventional explosive weapons. By utilizing kinetic energy and cutting power rather than blast and fragmentation, the R9X is able to focus its attack on an extremely concentrated area, minimizing collateral damage. Modern weapon systems increasingly focus on delivering smaller payloads with greater accuracy. The R9X takes this trend to its logical extreme, removing the explosive entirely and relying solely on precision. Unlike conventional Hellfires that can devastate an entire vehicle and surrounding area, potentially claiming additional lives not intended as targets, the R9X's damage radius extends mere inches from its point of impact. While anyone in the direct path of the 6 blades faces catastrophic consequences, the missile can be precisely armed to strike a specific seat in a vehicle, potentially leaving passengers in adjacent seats unharmed. The primary launch platform for the R9X appears to be the MQ-9 Reaper drone, operated by either the CIA or the Pentagon's Joint Special Operations Command. These unmanned aircraft can loiter for hours at altitudes of up to 50,000 feet, completely invisible to those below, while tracking high-value targets and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Like other Hellfire variants, the R9X starts with standard semi-active laser guidance, requiring the target to be painted by a laser designator, either from the launching aircraft or from operatives on the ground. But the missile's ability to consistently strike specific parts of vehicles with such precision, like hitting only the driver's position while leaving the rest of the vehicle intact, suggests something more advanced is at work. As noted in CENTCOM footage of the recent strike, analysts observed both a targeting bracket around the vehicle and a set of crosshairs positioned exactly where the R9X ultimately struck. This targeting system appears to go beyond conventional laser guidance, potentially incorporating computer automation that allows it to identify and strike precise portions of a target with remarkable accuracy. An open secret. Since its shadowy introduction with the 2017 Al-Masri strike, the AGM-114 R9X has been selectively deployed against high-value targets across multiple conflict zones. Its use appears tightly restricted to the CIA and the military's Joint Special Operations Command, with deployments typically involving MQ-9 Reaper drones operating in contested airspace where conventional aircraft cannot safely fly. In January 2019, Jamal Ahmad Mohammed al-Bawadi, the alleged mastermind behind the 2000 USS Cole bombing that claimed the lives of 17 American sailors, became another of the weapon's early victims when an R9X found him in Yemen. The precision strike eliminated a terrorist who had twice escaped from Yemeni prisons and had been on the FBI's most wanted list with a $5 million bounty. Later that same year, several Haras al-Din leaders in Syria found themselves targeted by the missile's blades, further demonstrating the weapon's role in dismantling terrorist command structures. By 2020, the weapon had made its way to Afghanistan, where it was reportedly used to eliminate a Taliban commander, marking its first known deployment in that theater. According to reports, the R9X has now been employed in 6 countries: Syria, Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq, Yemen, and Somalia, always against specific individuals deemed significant threats to U.S. interests. Its deployment pattern reveals a strategic calculation. The R9X is reserved for situations where eliminating a single high-value target is the primary objective and where avoiding civilian casualties is paramount. One of its most significant operations came on July 31, 2022, when 2 R9X missiles struck a balcony in Kabul, taking the life of al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri. The missiles eliminated one of the world's most wanted terrorists while he stood on his balcony, without harming family members inside the building. President Joe Biden reportedly gave explicit instructions to minimize the risk of civilian casualties, making the R9X the perfect tool for such a sensitive mission. Despite the growing number of reports of R9X deployments, for a long time, the Pentagon maintained its silence. The missile remained officially unacknowledged, even as it was increasingly utilized in high-profile operations. This curious dichotomy, a weapon whose effects were so visually distinctive that it couldn't be hidden, yet whose existence remained officially denied, created an open secret in military circles. This veil of official secrecy would persist until March 2025, when CENTCOM's release of footage showing the R9X in action against a Haras al-Din commander finally brought this shadowy weapon into the light. A new era. In a world where military operations face increasing scrutiny, the R9X offers a political advantage as well as a tactical one. The ability to conduct strikes with minimal collateral damage allows military planners to authorize operations that might otherwise be deemed too risky. Areas previously off-limits due to civilian presence suddenly become viable for precision strikes. Human rights defenders have cast doubt on whether the R9X truly represents a more humane approach to warfare. As Letta Taylor of Human Rights Watch notes, quote, "Part of the danger here is that these weapons seem so fail-safe, but the R9X is only going to be as good as the intelligence used to guide it." The weapon's surgical precision may create an illusion of infallibility that encourages more frequent deployment in borderline cases. The Pentagon's decision to finally acknowledge the weapon through the CENTCOM video release raises its own questions. After years of operating in the shadows, it is not clear why this capability is being brought into the light now. Some analysts suggest it serves as a warning to potential targets that nowhere is truly safe, while others see it as a response to the weapon's increasingly open secret status. As more countries develop their own targeted strike capabilities, the R9X sets a precedent that may shape the future of warfare. The technology required is not particularly advanced. The innovation lies in the concept rather than complex components. This suggests that similar weapons could proliferate as other nations follow suit with their own non-explosive kinetic weapons, potentially changing the character of targeted operations worldwide. As the R-9X emerges from the shadows after 8 years, it represents a strange fusion of archaic weaponry with cutting-edge precision guidance. This weapon marks a significant departure from conventional thinking about airstrikes, proving that sometimes the answer to complex military problems isn't more explosive power, but less.